Whoa, I did not think you guys would want to see this video. Maybe you guys love sarcasm as much as I do. Anyway, kids, go to bed. This video is not for you. You will not be able to understand anything. On the first pages we see the Straw Hats celebrating because the war is over. Finally. It has been a very long and fierce war, with so many twists and turns. My mind was blown. This is the 68th chapter of this arc. I will need to rest for weeks. This was such an insane roller coaster. It was such an insane war and so many things that happened that I am struggling to remember anything. Maybe I have memory problem. But I don't think I have it as bad as Oda's memory problem. The party in this chapter was a breath of fresh air. The story in the recent chapters was so condensed and heavy and deep, and so many things did happen at once. And most importantly, it was so intense. That was killing me. So much so that I think we need another recap arc with a sitcom character like Odin. That would be comedy gold, just what this story needs. So yeah, this party was a great change of pace, since so many things that did happen so far, especially the kidnapping of Momonosuke. Can you believe it lasted 3 chapters? So the party was a great idea. We needed something cheerful. Now, this might seem like the Straw Hats do not care about Momonosuke being captured by the enemy, and he might get killed like his father. Kanjuro said that I will kill Hiyori too. But that is not true at all. The thing is that the Straw Hats have a memory problem as well. And I don't think Oda knows what consistency is. So yeah, we should overlook that. It is not their fault. Oda said that the one arc will make Marineford arc look cute. And now I know why. Do you remember when Whitebeard appeared from under the sea and you have all these legendary characters there from both sides? And the tension was killing us. But did Whitebeard throw a party there? Nope. What about a picnic? Nope. Maybe a card game? Nope. So do you see now why the one arc is so much better? Marineford arc had 0 parties, and that's why it cannot be compared to the one arc. I don't know what Oda was thinking back then, that the Marineford arc was about a war or something like that, which is ridiculous. That arc was about Whitebeard trying to find the best restaurant, but some Marines were being mean to him and started to fight. That's why even the Whole Cake Island arc is so much better than the Marineford arc. The whole arc was about the cake, making the cake, destroying the cake, and then making it again. And that's how you make an epic arc. This is so obvious. I think we all can agree that Marineford arc sucks. And the name of the story should be changed from One Piece to One Food or One Party. Anyway, then we got the privilege to hear the master plan to defeat not just Orochi and his army, but also 2 Yonkos. Yeah, that sounds easy. And the master plan is to divide the forces, which is brilliant by the way. As any general will tell you, when you have a smaller army, you always divide your army, and that's how it would be easier for the enemy to use his advantage against you. This makes so much sense. This is a genius plan. And after hearing the plan, I thought, of course, Kaido, Big Mom and Orochi will be defeated. This is truly a master plan. And then we see Luffy and Kid bickering with each other about who will take the head of Kaido. The memory no Mi strikes again. It seems like both of them did forget that they got bit-slapped by Kaido. But this is where me and you guys are wrong. What we did not know is that if you get bit-slapped, you get 100 times stronger. So Luffy and Kid right now are 100 times stronger than before fighting Kaido. And the other thing that is very important is that when Luffy and Kid fought Kaido, he was alone in both cases. But now that Kaido is surrounded by his army, he is 100 times weaker. This logic makes sense 100%. Oda's logic is brilliant. And then we got the revelation of the century. Kaido has a son. Wow, this changes everything in the story. My mind was so blown that I needed to go to the hospital. I am sure just like me you also had to Google it to find out what sun means. Because I don't think suns did exist before this chapter. Oda was the one who invented them, and that's why people call him Goda. Now, some haters might say that it is not about who the characters are or how many there are of them, but what is important is how they affect the story. Which it is not true at all. Just look at what had happened in Whole Cake Island arc. There were so many sons and daughters there, and that's why that arc is epic. Now that I am thinking about that arc, I think I have an idea of how Luffy will defeat Kaido. When Luffy fought Cracker, he did turn into a balloon, and since back then balloons were not invented yet, Cracker had no clue what he is looking at, and that's why he lost, and that makes 100% sense. And in this arc, Luffy will turn into a square, and Kaido and Big Mom will be just as clueless as Cracker, and that's how Luffy will defeat both Kaido and Big Mom. Speaking of Big Mom, in this chapter we see a panel where she is changing into a new kimono. This panel is the most important panel of this chapter by far. Here's why. Big Mom was wearing a kimono, but she wanted to change that kimono, and when we will see her next and her kimono is different, we would have been all in shock. How could this be? Why the kimono looks different now? This story is making no sense whatsoever. But luckily for us, Oda was thinking way ahead into the future, and he did show us this panel where she did change into a new kimono, and now the story is saved, and we all can rest easy. A terrifying disaster averted. Just what you expect from Oda. The silhouette no Mi strikes again. I have a question for you guys. Which one is easier to draw? A silhouette panel or a normal panel? Food for thought. And on the last panel we have the second revelation of the century, the Flying Six. This is what the story is all about, just introducing and revealing characters. Are your brains blown out yet? Mine is. Anyway, theory. Buggy is the son of Kaido. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.